rumors getting louder. Do the Dodgers need a fresh ace? We'll break down Andrew Friedman's latest comments and whether Will Smith's surprising recovery changes the trade deadline conversation. We'll also preview Game 1 of the Dodgers versus Red Sox series, plus we'll introduce the newest member of the Blue Dynasty team. All that and more on today's episode. This is Blue Dynasty Unplugged.
It's time for Dodger Baseball!
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series! Beat the champ! You gotta knock him out! The Dodgers cement their dynasty!
And welcome back to another episode of Blue Dynasty Unplugged. I am your host, Robert Medina, and today I'm joined by George Cantillanes, Bobby Hainline, Priscilla Perez, and if you guys notice, there's actually an extra person in here today. We're joined by the newest member or contributor of the Blue Dynasty team, Sam Baez, Samantha Baez, right?
Yes, either or works good for me. I like Sam. That's my preferred, but if you want to call me Samantha, you're more than welcome to.
Sounds good. So, Sam, we're all super excited to have you to join the team. For those of our, listeners that, or, viewers even that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into, the covering the Dodgers specifically.
Yeah. So born and raised in the Inland Empire right next door to LA. So I grew up a Dodger girl. My dad made sure that I was definitely a Dodger girl. Played baseball my whole life. Just fell in love with the whole thing. I love strategy. I love, different plays. I love watching. And so that's just kind of where my passion came from. I started covering the Dodgers just because I love to talk about baseball, and I just could not find anyone else who wanted to talk about baseball as much as I did, honestly. So, yeah, that was my journey into Dodgers content creation, and so far it's led me to some pretty great people. So I'm very excited to be a part of your guys' team here and see what I can contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. You go to a lot of Tower Buzzers games, right? You cover them as well?
I do, yes. I am, like I said, I'm an IE girl, so Ontario is in my backyard. I love watching the prospect games. I love seeing the different levels of playing. You see the different levels of hunger, the transactions as well up and down the system. So, yes, I am a big Ontario Tower Buzzers girl, but I love to keep up with the minor league aspect of the Dodgers system as well.
Yeah, awesome. And I know that there's kind of a fun fact that you had mentioned to me on kind of centered around who your favorite players have been throughout Dodgers. I don't know how to say history, but yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so all of my favorite Dodger players have worn the number 5. So growing up, Nomar Garcia-Parra was my favorite Dodger player, mainly because we shared the same birthday, but also loved number 5. Then right after that, Corey Seager went into number 5. Loved Corey Seager as a Dodger. And now my number 1 current active Dodger, Freddie Freeman, wears number 5. So there's something about me, the Dodgers, and the number 5. And we'll see who takes over after Freddie retires.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully
they might just retire the number 5 after Freddie. So
that's what I was gonna say.
You're right, and I would love for that to happen. Honestly, you're totally right on that one.
Yeah. I wonder what the over under is on that one. Or him
Right.
wearing a Dodger hat right into Cooperstown. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
What happens.
Yes, that would be amazing. Well, after having his kids, he's kind of been hinting at things changing for him as far as family goes. So I wouldn't be surprised if he called it a day after his contract's up, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're very happy that you're here with us today. And guys, if you guys, we will be seeing a little bit more of Sam on Blue Dynasty, the podcast, and on socials. So keep an eye out for her. You can follow her on IG at SammyB_23 and on TikTok at the Dodger Buzz or the Dodger.buzz. But yeah, welcome, Sam. So guys, we have a lot to talk about, right? There's been No breaking news, really, but there has been, in my opinion, there's been Andrew Friedman kind of giving us little Easter eggs, right? There's been Will Smith has come back, kind of. He seems to be progressing or moving in the right direction. Um, Lots of things to get into, but before we get into that, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Malachite Media.
Modern marketing isn't built on guesswork anymore. It's built on data. Malachite Media uses intent data to reach people based on what they're searching, what they're shopping for, and even what they're watching. Helping businesses reach the right audience across Google, social media, streaming TV, and more. Start your digital growth with Malachite Media today.
All right, so trade deadline's almost here. August 3rd, I believe, is the day, right? I think it's that evening. So things are starting to heat up as far as trade rumors. Now, I think everybody has Tarik Skubal on their wish list, right? Especially with the state of the rotation. And, some have made the argument that the Dodgers actually do need a Skubal, right? Some have said, you know what, I think it's going to be, it's unnecessary. The Dodgers have enough aces on their staff, right? But let's start with George. I want to hear what you think about this because I think that fans are really torn on this. I honestly feel that the Dodgers should, if he's available, they should go after a Skubal. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I didn't really buy a lot into this in the last few months up until about this week. And I think that just the emotions around his start yesterday he had with the Tigers, I think that just says, or it confirms that he is out the door. They're going to trade him now to get something for him because they know the chances of keeping him are pretty much none. And I can see it happening now. I think like Friedman and the guys will do anything they can to get us that three-peat, and we know that getting him long-term is not going to be possible, especially with these, the pay's up in the air next year, the agreements are up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen, but there's guaranteed that there's going to be changes. So I can see it happening now, and I think it's the right call. Just go all in, get this three-peat. Like we've said, it's not going to happen again in our lifetime, so do everything we can to get it.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. We may never get another opportunity like this again, right? And Andrew Friedman he spoke to the media yesterday, and he said a few things that were interesting to me. One of those things was he said that whenever there's a big star on the market, that the Dodgers will always be involved in those conversations, right? But he actually took that a little bit further when he was asked, I believe it was a follow-up question, and they asked him, was there concern of, potentially a Skubal going to another team, to another contending team? And Friedman said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, if there were concerns, we would absolutely go out and get him, and we would get him, essentially. That they would just go out and get that player and keep him away from any other contending team. Now, we know that the Brewers are going to be in the mix, the Rays are going to be in the mix, the Braves are going to be in the mix, among others. But Sam, what are your thoughts on Andrew Friedman's comments yesterday? And does this really solidify the fact that the Dodgers will be pursuing Skubal?
100%. I think that's been the number one place that people are suspecting he's going to land, just because, like you mentioned, one, we're the biggest name in baseball. Two, we want that three-peat. And three, we have the reputation I think that Skubal's looking for. So I think we are definitely going to be going after him. With Ohtani's new injury, I'm sure it's going to be a tiny bit more aggressively, but I don't expect Andrew Friedman to be bending over backwards to get him. If anything, like you were mentioning, I believe that it would be more of a defensive trade for us because I don't think any of the Dodgers want to see him come time for the NLCS where we're going up against a good team like the Brewers, or if he goes to the Rays and we end up facing them. It's more of a matter of we don't want him to face us so we can secure that three-peat. And also, why not add the arm to the caliber, especially with the looming lockout that's going to be coming up this next year. So yeah. I think Skubal is my prediction. I'm like 75% he's coming to the Dodgers.
Yeah. There is a little bit of some news that just broke not too long ago regarding Skubal, and this was actually from Bob Nightingale. And I'll give this to Priscilla. I want to hear your thoughts, because before hearing this, I want you to just keep in mind what you think the odds of us landing, or the Dodgers landing to Skubal are, right? So here's what Bob Nightingale had to say. And this is just a part of what he put out. Dodgers could grab Skubal knowing that they are considered his first preference. Now, that is the first time I've ever heard anything like that. Now, whether Bob is getting that, I could only assume that he has some sort of a source that would make him say that. But your thoughts on this comment from Bob Nightingale? Shout out Bob Nightingale, by the way.
I'm going to be honest with you. That makes my thought process go 180. I am on team. We don't really need Skubal. Would I want to have him? Yes. But from the beginning, I don't like the word need. But hearing this, it's like, oh, we're getting Skubal. Without a doubt, we're getting Skubal. Because, yeah, we don't want to face him. The only thing that I can agree with on Sam is that, no, they're not going to bend over backwards for him either. They're not going to go out of their way and give up all these players, depending on what contract he wants, or if it's going to be a rental, or who they're asking in exchange for. I can see them kind of putting their foot down, because as people say, the Dodgers don't play checkers, they play chess, so it's one of those things that we kind of look more in the long run than in the right now. What's going to happen in the long run, and what's going to be the overall best decision for the Dodgers to make, so we don't end up like other teams that I'm not going to mention, who've made those mistakes of giving up one or two players, and then now they're facing those players and they don't know what to do when they face the very players that they decided to trade. So I think that if that's the case, Skubal might be in Dodger blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're referring to Dodger Stadium South, right?
Yeah, there you go. We don't have to say an official name, but the one that I drove by the other day that I was like, what's going on here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to your point, Andrew Friedman did say something about the Dodgers' future, right? And making sure that they're looking 5 years ahead, because even though
Correct.
fans don't care about that today, we will care about that 5 years from now, right? So it's definitely something to think about there. But here's another point, and this is actually something that ties in well with what you said, Priscilla, because you were mentioning that we may not need them, right? Or need Skubal. Bobby, considering this, right? Let's take a step back and look at what the state of this rotation is and has been, right? You have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right, who has been amazing since joining the Dodgers, but he also has been a workhorse. He has pitched so many innings, not just last year, and that got us, through that World Series run, but even this year, he's been reliable. He's made every start. So you got to think that the Dodgers are going to have to start being careful with him, right? I mean, look, Yamamoto is just out of this world. His preparation, everything. But still, you have to keep that. You have to consider that. Then you have Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell, who are just now coming back from the IL, or expected to, right? And even if we do get them back, how is your confidence gonna be in a Tyler Glasnow, right? coming back from the IL in a postseason game, or even Blake Snell that he's going to go the distance, right? I mean, pitchers break, and you don't know what's going to happen with someone who just came back, right? Now you have Roki Sasaki and Justin Wrobleski. Sasaki's been up and down all year, and Wrobleski has been awesome. But would you trust Wrobleski in a game, I don't know, Game 3 of the World Series?
Well, I don't think I can trust Justin. Just like I believe it was Clint that brought up this fact last week. This has been the most innings Justin has pitched in his career. And judging from his last outing where he gave up 5 home runs to the Mariners, I just think we need to start maybe giving him some extra rest. I don't know if he just had a bad game the other day, or maybe he is starting to feel a little wear and tear on that arm. We need to take it easy on him. I don't trust Tyler Glasnow either, because he's been very injury prone. I have more trust in Blake Snell, even though he has had his past injury trouble. But I know Blake's heart. I know Blake is a fighter. He's a gamer. He's going to do everything he can to get back out there on the mound, and when he does, he's going to be excellent. I was fortunate to be at 2 games where he pitched, one against the Dodgers and one with the Dodgers, and he's just so tough to hit. If I was a batter, I wouldn't look forward to facing Blake Snell. But I would not trust Justin Wrobleski in the postseason. Absolutely not. It's unfortunate, but I think that he's kind of he's kind of reached his limit, I guess, for this season. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. I just like to pretend I'm one.
I think that I agree with you in the sense that I don't know if Wrobleski has enough in the tank. I guess enough left. He's just pitched a lot this year, so I don't know. And then, not to mention, Ohtani is still dealing with his knee. So at this point, who do we have, right? But bringing in a Skubal that just got back from his own injury, may not be the answer, right? Don't forget Eric Lauer.
Yeah, Eric Lauer's been pitching great. I mean, the Dodgers have won every game he's pitched for them. He had a great game last night. The Mariners only got 1 hit off of him until the bullpen came in and almost almost cost them the game. Well, I think some of that you have to put on Kyle Tucker too for that whatever that was last night. And by the way, thank God I'm not having to listen to the Mariner play-by-play group or whatever. It was like, I swear to God, in that double in the 9th inning, the broadcast team was, and then there's a double down the left field line. They're going to get it back in here. I'm like, God, I'm falling asleep here, guys. I mean, there was no excitement. Even when the Mariners had a chance to possibly tie the game, there was no excitement whatever. And when Freddie got the line drive to end the game, they were like, and Freddie gets the ball, line drive, game's over. Mariners lose 4-2. And I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, I cannot wait until I hear Joe Davis again. Thank God for our broadcasting team. So
Yep.
Anyway,
you learn a new different level of appreciation for our broadcasters. Shout out Tim Nedrick.
Absolutely.
So
with that, guys, I got to get going to work. I'll have a great rest of the podcast, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Okay, buddy. getting back to the Skubal talk, I don't know. I'm not entirely. Look, I'm not saying that I doubt, Yamamoto or what he's capable of. I'm just saying that, he's been a workhorse. So who in reality do we have that would be reliable, during this postseason run? I'll put that out for anybody.
Well,
I
Yamamoto's the
think
obvious answer,
Yamamoto.
but yeah, you got
I like
you got
Yamamoto.
Priscilla. Yeah.
Sam was going to say something. Go ahead, Sam.
I think we're all on the same page of, I think no matter what, Yamamoto being a workhorse, I think that's just how he is. I think that no matter what, if his back is up against the wall, specifically what we saw last season with the World Series, he's going to get it done. But you are right. I mean, we don't have the two aces that we thought we were going to have with Snell and Glasnow. I know that you guys are just talking about Justin Wrobleski maybe not being as reliable, but I could see Justin Wrobleski being a reliable guy. He's been really solid this season considering how young he is, and it being like his first full season actually pitching as a starting pitcher. So my vote would be Justin Wrobleski just because he's impressed me this season. I would love to see a Wrobleski and Sasaki combination game. Honestly, that would be a great lineup to me. I think too.
That's actually not a bad idea because I think for me personally, the biggest concern with Robo is his innings pitched this year. And so, I would hate for him to be put in a situation where he's gassed and he just can't perform, like he wants to. But I would like to see a piggyback like that. Do a Robo Sasaki
Yeah.
piggyback. And I'm sure that, look, we've pieced things together in the past. 2024, we did that. We did exactly that with the bullpen, right? The dogs of the bullpen in 2024 won us the World Series, right? And then we
Yeah,
rode on the back
absolutely.
of Yamamoto last year. So who is going to be the one that steps up, or what is going to be the group, right, that steps up to this occasion? Because like we all know, this may not happen ever again, at least not within our lifetime for a three-peat. So let's see
Yeah,
here.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say how much of this is getting past what we can see. There's more than meets the eye. How much of this is tactic for the end of the year and into postseason? Glasnow, Snell, and Shohei Ohtani being on the injured list, possibly having injuries, but also coming back and being the aces that we need. I think that we need to have a little more faith in that. It's in our face what we see now, but at the end of the day, we do know that we have some good arms that are ready to roll. So that's, I think, why I keep in mind, like, do we absolutely need Skubal? I don't think so. Can we use him? Yes, absolutely. Get the guy, like, bring him in. It's just one of those things where Glasnow hasn't pitched, and yes, he's injury prone. However, would he be one of the fresher starters, or Snell, being that he hasn't pitched as much as Wrobleski or the next person? Are they much more fresh because of that, coming back from even the injury list? So those are the things that I like to look at, because you said it yourself. The Dodgers look into the future. They don't look right now. They're already playing October. So I just want us to keep all that in mind, because we're going to see it. We're going to be like, where did this come from? We've done it the last 2 years. Where did this come from? And then boom, another ring.
Agreed. And you bring up a good point, because we have to remember that Snell and Glasnow were both World Series pitchers in 2020. Obviously didn't go their way, and we only played half a season. But when we were up against them, as the Dodgers up against the Rays in 2020, we were scared when Snell and Glasnow both took the mound. So you are really right, Priscilla. I wouldn't doubt that environment, that playoff environment, no matter how long it's been since they've pitched, those guys, it's like a second nature for them. Once it's on, it's on. And you might be right in that they just turn it around, and maybe one of them ends up becoming, the World Series ace this year. Who knows?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, those are all really good points. There's one, I guess, pitcher that's currently in the Dodgers rotation that is, making a lot of news regarding his possible trade, and that's Eric Lauer. I mean, this guy has been great for this team since joining us, right? He's been lights out. We've won every game that he's pitched. Obviously, we've given him that run support that we should also be giving Yamamoto. Um, but nevertheless, he's pitched very well. And I think he's unlocked something that he wasn't able to unlock during his time with the Blue Jays. Um, but if we were to trade Eric Lauer, who who would you who would any of you be okay with trading Lauer for? Would it be including him in a I just don't see him being included in a Skubal trade. Would it be
Mm.
potentially are the Dodgers still looking for a catcher, considering the update that we got on Will Smith? Because Will Smith must have seen some kind of chiropractor or took some shots or jump over the fire to get rid of the bad juju, but he's finally making progress. So does this change? What the Dodgers were planning to do at the trade deadline, um, and how does Eric Lauer fit into any of it?
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like, I personally hope he doesn't get traded, but I can very much see it happening. In terms of which package you put it with, yeah, like I know Smith is starting to recover, but how I think an extra catcher doesn't hurt. We've seen our catching depth. Look, below rushing, it's not. Our catching depth is not the best. Um, so I think it wouldn't hurt to get some sort of catcher in there, even if he is a rental. I'm not sure. It's a hard one to know. Obviously, they'll know more about Will Smith than what we know. So, and how confident they'll be in him coming back. Because if he comes back, yeah, there won't be a need for another catcher. Um, but if it's still going to be a while, or if he gets another setback, then yeah, they desperately need that extra catcher, I think. So yeah, it's really hard. It's up in the air. It's a hard one to know.
Well, we've got less than 5 days for them to figure that out. I'm sure that they're going to do everything they can to get that figured out. But I mean, yeah, it's just in my opinion, there's a lot of questions as far as, current injuries, specifically around Will Smith and Shohei Ohtani, right? The team's been saying that they're confident that Ohtani will pitch again this year, but things change, right? Will Smith was only supposed to be out 6 days, and here we are, right? It's just some things they're hard to predict, and it's no fault of the organization. It's just players break, pitchers break. Um, but what are your Sam? What's your thoughts on Will Smith and this road to recovery that he's had? And do you think it would be a good idea for the Dodgers to go out and still get a third catcher potentially that could maybe, we can have in the farm system someone like I mean, I don't know, Ben Rotvit might be someone that they might consider bringing back, or someone along of that like, right? Your thoughts
Hmm.
on that?
I think that, yes, I think that Will Smith coming back is great. I do anticipate that he will come back to be the starting everyday catcher, probably within the next, I don't know, few weeks or so. But I believe that if the Dodgers are going to be going after a catcher, it is who you say. It's probably not going to be the veteran catcher with playoff experience, because we already have Dalton Rushing, who has taken initiative to be the catcher for the best team in baseball. He has been thrown into the water and told not to sink, and he's done a really good job. So if God forbid we needed him to continue to be the starting catcher, I know that even Will Smith, if he needed to go into a more backup role due to his injury, if it's prolonged a little bit longer throughout the season, I think that should they get more catching depth? Probably. But I would think that we would with the team that we have, I think that we could win the series with Will Smith being either a backup or just with Will Smith and Dalton Rushing being the two catchers we have in the clubhouse. Now, that is depending on how fast he comes back. The Dodgers, like you said, have been very wishy-washy with the injuries. First, it's not that big of a deal, and next, they're going to be out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much I trust the front office when they tell us that they're getting better, but yeah, I would see that. I would rather them take the time to go after somebody like Skubal, who again we don't need. I see that this team that we currently have right now can win a third World Series in a row. I believe that, but it would be nice to have that extra caliber just in case we can, over trying to get another catcher who I think we might be better off without if we can, depending on Will Smith again, like I said.
Yeah. Agreed. Priscilla, your thoughts?
Man, you guys know how I feel about Will Smith. Will Smith is my Freddie Freeman to Sam, also a number thing. Again, they tell us one thing, and I don't think that Will Smith made a miracle recovery. I think that they didn't want to get the fans excited. I think that they didn't want to jump the gun. I think that if they're saying Will Smith is feeling better, it's because he's actually feeling better. And I think that they're going to put him on the front lines. Do I agree that they need to be careful with him? Absolutely, especially with the games that Rushing has had. But he is still making minor mistakes that are costing us. And those are not mistakes that I believe Will Smith would make in his exact position. His speed, him throwing to second base, trying to get another runner out. Will Smith is just on it. Will Smith moves. So I think that those are like the key points of when Smith comes in or when Dalton Rushing would be out and vice versa. So I don't foresee them going after a catcher. I honestly just think that if they're saying Will Smith is healthy or getting healthier and pretty much ready to go, it's because that's the case. So I think that if anything, a trade or like a Skubal package is going to be strictly pitching. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with our catchers.
Yeah. Well, the deadline conversation is definitely going to dominate for the next, 4 or 5 days. And by the time we come back and do our next show, I think we'll have a lot of clarity on a lot of these questions that we currently have. But today we have Roki Sasaki on the mound with his giant glove. Hopefully that keeps doing wonders for him and that everything goes well. But looking ahead at tomorrow, assuming that the Dodgers will continue their series win streak, which I'm pretty confident they will. Tomorrow, the Dodgers will be starting a new series against the Boston Red Sox. It's a 3-game series, and it is a home game, so they'll be at Unico Field. Dodgers are currently, as of now, 68-40. And the Red Sox have been 7-3 over the last 10 games. So, not a team that the Dodgers would take lightly. I know that these are the Dodgers don't. I don't want to say that they take any team lightly because any MLB team is you never know what's going to happen in baseball. But I think that this is going to be a good series. Let's see what the probable pitchers are. I don't think they've had. Does anybody know if there's been pitchers announced yet?
I don't think so, but I think it'll be Yamamoto on the mound tomorrow. Probably.
I would foresee him going against Gray.
What's that?
I said, would we foresee him going against who, like Gray? Sonny Gray?
Suarez, it says.
Is
Ranger
it?
Suarez, I believe.
Oh, it says Suarez? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, Yamamoto is scheduled for Saturday right now. And they're currently to be determined for tomorrow's game. So it could be a bullpen game.
Uh-huh.
which makes
That
it interesting.
that is going to make it interesting.
That does make it interesting.
Real quick, before
Yikes,
we
against the Red
get
Sox?
into this Red Sox preview, thoughts on Edwin Diaz's first outing back?
It was a nerve-wracking one. It was those loud outs. I'm like, oh man, one's coming out of the park here. And it was up against, some pretty good offensive players in Cal Raleigh, and Seattle's got a good offensive team. So, look, Tucker needs to make that play, to be honest. I thought that was a pretty lazy effort. Something like, I wouldn't say it's an easy play, but it's definitely a play a good outfielder needs to make. But look, he got the save. That's what matters, and he brought the energy back, which was great.
Yeah, energy was definitely there. Priscilla?
Oh, I loved it. I think that he did great. Yeah, a little rusty for sure. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he didn't scare me a couple of times. I think that, when we have outfielders, like Teo, who stepped up yesterday, that was amazing. But we all know that he does have that record of kind of slacking it a little. And then with Kyle Tucker kind of doing the same as of lately, it's like we have to support our pitchers more because they're not going to be perfect, but plays like that help them get the outs that we want. So can we put it all on Edwin Diaz? I don't think so. I think
No.
that, again, he came back a little rusty, but I think there was plays that could have been made that would have helped us secure the game a little more, a little quicker. So I like the energy. I love the energy that he brings. Like I said, I was there, ring ceremony. I posted that video with you guys yesterday. Amazing. So I think it's something that they pick up on. And yeah, I think he did great.
Nice. Sam?
Yeah, I think it's what's to be expected. He put on a great performance for coming back to his first game. He has pitched in AAA and Single A here with the Tower Buzzers, which was really cool to see. But I mean, you got to like warm up to it. No matter how many rehab assignments these guys play, it's nothing compared to what it's like under the lights in Dodger Stadium. So for considering what it was, I think that he did a really good job. And Priscilla, like you said, I think we can kind of put it a little more on Tucker for the runs scored, just with the lack of attempt to try to catch the ball. But I think that it looked good for Diaz, and I see very promising stuff from him coming soon. Just he needs a little bit more time to warm up back to being on the big league roster.
Yeah. Agreed. Going back to this Red Sox series, game 1 starting tomorrow, Friday. No pitcher announced as of yet, but I agree with George. It'll likely be a bullpen game because it looks like they're giving Yamamoto and Sheehan a little bit extra rest, possibly. Or isn't Ohtani would have been scheduled to pitch? I want to say that would have been his next time up.
Possibly,
but looking into that series, keys to the game, how important is it for the Dodgers to take 2 of 3 at least? As far as maybe even momentum, and what do you guys feel is going to be the key to really getting or winning 2 games out of 3 from the Red Sox?
yeah, I think, offense will always help. I think run support is always going to help. And in a game like tomorrow, it's very hard if it is a bullpen game, it's very hard for 9 pitchers to come out and all be switched on and all be lights out. We saw it once, which was probably the most important time in 24 against the Padres. You will rarely see that again where 9 pitchers all are on their game. So I think offense needs to obviously provide the run support. I think, like with Emmett Sheehan, for example, recently, I've been happy if he's going 5 innings. And he has on a couple of occasions, which has been a better sign. And, that's if he actually makes the start. Let's see how the next few days pan out. But, Yamamoto, we know, can go 6, 7 innings, even if he does give up 3 runs. So, yeah, I think offense, definitely. And defense as well.
Yeah. Priscilla, how important is it for the Dodgers to win game one, considering that, they're known to win the first two and drop the last, or win or lose the first and then win the last two? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. I think that it's important for them to win it so that they can get that game on mentality when it comes to the Red Sox. Let's be real, the Red Sox is going to be a very competitive team
Mhm.
to play against and to beat. It's not We're not going up against any just anybody. They've got Duran on the team, they've got Anthony, they've got Bregman on there. We don't want Bregman to be hitting home runs in Dodger Stadium. That is not okay. So I just think that like in their heads for them to win game one, it kind of switches that on. If they do, it might give them a little bit of a lack for the next game or the following. But when you lose the first game, it does something to you mentally about the team that you have to face for the next 2 days. So I think that game one, them winning it is really important.
I agree. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is interesting how the cycle of Dave Roberts, if we win the first two, the third game's probably a throwaway game, which I kind of get, but I also don't really like. I love to be, the dominant Dodgers. If we can get that sweep, we should get that sweep, considering not only how good our players are, but how high our payroll is. But yeah, offense is going to be the key to this series, because either way, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, as good as he's pitched this year, has had like the lowest run support out of all of the starting Dodgers pitchers. So we really need to get him, supported, at least so he can have some more confidence going into the postseason. And then on top of that, if we do have a bullpen game, that's going to be the number one thing, because the bullpen, I mean, with Eric Klein, he's been kind of up and down lately. He can turn it on, but when he's off, he's really off. So to combat that, those bats need to wake up. Think I was expecting a little more run support in this series from Seattle, considering their standings and kind of their pitching stats so far this year. But yes, I agree with George. It's going to be a run support type of situation for this entire series, and I would love for the Dodgers to go for that sweep, because it's been a while, I think, since we've had our last complete series sweep. So it'd be cool to get it against the Red Sox too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how Mookie performs against his old team. Obviously, things have changed since he was with the Red Sox, but since we're previewing the Red Sox Dodgers series, specifically looking into game one, it's time, and Priscilla knows what time it is. It's time to call your shot.
It's time to call your shot.
All right, let's go around the room. And Sam, this is your first call your shot.
Oh
So,
gosh.
in case you don't know, we go around and you just call what player, could be position player, could be offense, could be defense, which player is going to make the biggest impact in game one against the Red Sox. We'll give you some time to think about it. Well, let's go, George. He looks like he's
Okay.
ready. He has his ready to go.
I
Thank
have mine
God.
written down. I'm just saying.
You do.
I,
I did. I have mine written down. But I want to hear what they have to say first. Go.
I think to this game, I don't know, I'm going to go Freddie. I think he's probably time for him to go deep. And he tends to, I don't know, we've seen what he can do in bigger series, bigger games. So, yeah, I'll stick with that.
Freddie Freeman. Okay. Uh, let's hear. Let's go with Priscilla. You have yours written down. What do you got on that paper?
I did. I've got Mookie Betts. I've got Mookie Betts. I think that he's done good. His last 10 games, he's got 8 hits, 2 home runs, and 3 RBI. So that's a pretty good performance. But more than anything, you're going against your former team. And it never matters how long it's been. You always want to make them regret letting you go. So I think that there's going to be something under his sleeve. I think Mookie Betts is going yard.
Nice, nice. Sam.
All right, mine is Teoscar Hernandez. I think people have been blowing up the story about him possibly becoming a trade piece at the deadline. I personally do not see that happening. I think it was just kind of a story to get the people going. But since then, yesterday's game, I saw a little bit more energy out of him. So I think he has a point to prove. coming out of this trade deadline, and I think Teoscar Hernandez is going to be a key piece to the Dodgers winning this series.
I like that. I like that.
Like it.
I'm gonna have to go with Mookie. I have a feeling that he is gonna perform well against his former team. So yeah, I think Mookie's gonna be that difference for game one of the series against the Red Sox. But for those of you at home, don't forget you can call your shot before every Dodgers game by visiting Blue Dynasty on social media. Drop your prediction before the first pitch, and if you call it right, you could be highlighted the next day on Blue Dynasty. Any closing thoughts? I'll go around the room. George.
Oh, it's good to be back home. I think just seeing the energy of the crowd again, seeing Deo's come back, TK come back as well. I'm sure we'll see some energy from him tonight. He's my shot for tonight. He's back in the starting lineup, so I think he's going to bring the excitement. I'm just happy that the boys are back home, to be honest, and it'll be fun this weekend against a team like the Red Sox who are in some good form. And I've said this before, we got Mookie for a Pop-Tart, so thank you again, Boston.
Sam.
I agree. It's good to be back home and watching Dodger games at 7 o'clock instead of watching them at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I'm very excited. Like I said, I don't care really if the Dodgers get Skubal, but it would be great and awesome and cool and would help us secure that three-peat if next week we could talk about Tarik Skubal joining the Dodgers. But it has to be a good trade. I know it's not at the top of our list, but I'm putting the energy out there. You only three-peat once in a generation. Why not try to secure it? You know what I mean? So I'm excited for this weekend series with the Red Sox. Glad for the boys to be back home so I can watch my late Dodger games. And I'm calling and putting it out there that Tarik Skubal will be in a Dodgers uniform come next week. So
Ooh, hot take right there. All right.
Yeah.
Priscilla, top that. No.
I'm excited. I know, right? I'm out. No, just kidding. No, I'm excited. Trade deadline is always an exciting time with baseball world, baseball news. I think there's going to be a bomb to be dropped when it comes to all of this. I don't know if it's going to be with the Dodgers. Yes, I am with Sam. I hope so, but we'll see. In addition to that, we are going into August, which means that people are going to go a little harder, but also a little lighter when it comes to their players, giving them their rest for that, almost postseason time. So I'm really excited for that. August, September time is when those dynamics in baseball really, really get real. So this is my favorite time of the season, aside from back-to-back World Series championships.
Yeah. And don't forget, September call-ups is right around the corner. I love September call-ups. We'll have to get Austin back on here to talk some prospects too. I think Sam would have a good time talking to him. For me, I really hope we do get Skubal just to kind of give everybody the bird. It's just one of those things where we get so much crap from other fans from other teams that let's just do it. Let's just embrace it. We're the bad guys. We ruined baseball. Let's just do it. I trust Andrew Friedman's going to go out and make the moves needed. But I want to see Andrew Friedman in that. I don't know if you guys ever saw him, that picture wearing that robe where he just looks like he's just balling, right?
He's chilling.
Yeah, but I think that Andrew's gonna do what's needed to get what we need, and I have faith in that. So, but that's all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you for joining us. Your support means everything. Every time you guys come on and listen to us or watch us on YouTube, really helps us. What really helps us a lot is if you like and subscribe to this video if you're on YouTube, or leave us a review on any of the podcast platforms. Big thank you to Sam Baez, our newest member of the Blue Dynasty team. If you're watching on YouTube, like I said, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode because we'll talk about what happened in the trade deadline. You can also follow Blue Dynasty on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, the works, or listening to Blue Dynasty Unplugged on wherever you get your podcasts. We bring you an episode once a week, so follow, subscribe, and we will make sure to be here. But don't forget to follow Priscilla, George, Bobby, Priscilla, Bleed Boo Bay, Bobby at the Dodger Man games, and my boy George, the Aussie man, or why do I always get these confused? The Aussie Dodger.
That's
Um,
it.
Anyway, I'm Robert Medina. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I think it's time for dinner. Uh, we'll see you next time, guys.